Hey everyone, it's Jim T. Graham, Jason Cole, and this is the RCGroups podcast. We are joined today by Jason came to me, NUBB, and he said, I have an idea. I said, maybe we could get somebody to talk to today. So, Jason, you want to introduce NUBB and his glorious background of FPV fame?
Yeah, man. So this is a local drone pilot. Kind of cool. He's part of the Music City. What is our club called?
Music City Multi-Rotor.
Multi-Rotor Club. That's right. I haven't attended in a little while.
Yeah.
I kind of got out of the racing scene, but Blake Sams has done exceptionally well. He's literally gone from not knowing anything, not knowing how to fly, to world-class DRL pilot. So welcome, Blake, man. It's good to see your face.
It's good seeing you, man. It's been a while.
How's it going?
Let's start there. When did you start flying and how?
Started flying, just like everybody else. I saw some videos on YouTube, and that was in January 2016 that I ordered my first kit. I didn't know about the whole Music City group yet, so I spent an entire month on YouTube trying to figure out how to build the thing. After I got it built and took it out for my first flight, I finally found the local group and went out and started flying with them, and it's almost like the rest is history. It's all gone by so fast.
Yeah, it's so funny, dude. I remember when we were out there and almost nobody could actually hit a gate. Like we could literally hit the gate but not go through it very well.
Yeah, there's just like 3 of y'all that had been flying for a few months or a year that could actually get around the track. The rest of us were just kind of cruising.
Gosh, so man, how do you go from that to where you are now? I mean, it's amazing how you're able to do this and hit these courses the way you do and so fast. It blows my mind.
A lot of it's got to do with a little bit of my upbringing. So my dad, when I was growing up, he had a real strong work ethic, and I think that came over to me. So whenever I got into drones and I had the determination that I wanted to do this for a living, I put my normal work ethic into what I considered to be a hobby at the time, and I went out and just trained as much as I possibly could. And when I go to races, I put all my heart into it, try to give it everything I've got. And I think just over time, I've been doing this for 2 years, 9 months now, just getting out every single weekend and being able to burn as many packs as I want. Just trying to up my game every single time I'm out there, not fooling around. I think that's what's got me where I'm at now.
It is amazing. Less than 3 years, Jim, to pro pilot. Isn't that crazy?
See, even 2 years ago, I was looking at all these videos that were being posted of people flying through buildings and stuff like that. And I thought, it's over. There's no way to get a foothold in here because all these guys have already done everything. And obviously you didn't think that way. And you thought, I'm going to go and make a name for myself. And what did you have a direction or what's the first thing you did to try and get into the hobby, to be known?
So from an early point, I started noticing that it was going to be really, really hard to get noticed strictly for going out flying freestyle, because the things that people love about freestyle are the location. And let's be honest, Middle Tennessee doesn't have many amazing locations. Then after that, it was going to be insane flying style and a lot to do with how you edit your videos. And I've never really had a artistic style on much of anything in life, so editing wasn't really for me. So after about 6 months of flying, I started to notice that I wasn't going to be able to get my name out there and be one of the greats just by doing freestyle. So I started putting all of my efforts into strictly racing, because I knew if I wanted to get out there, make this a living, I was going to have to put my name on the top of the leaderboards at every single race I could, because to me that was the fast track to get noticed, was trying to be at the top of the leaderboards every single race.
Crazy. Gotcha. So tell us about the DRL. Like, how did you get into it? What's it like being on TV, flying? How's that whole experience going? Fill us in on that stuff.
So the way I got into it was Wild Willie. I flew with him in 2016 and became friends with him instantly. And I pestered him for 2 years to recommend me to the show. And 2017, I went out to 3 major races, and I was the only person at those 3 races to place top 16 of all 3 of them. Mm-hmm. And I think that somewhere along the line of those 3 races, DRL kind of picked up on it. And when Willard mentioned me to DRL at the end of the 2017 season, and they went back and looked at my history of races, they accepted me and gave me a call in January, offering me a spot on the show. We got started filming almost immediately, practicing and everything. And I can only talk about levels 1 through 4 right now, because that's all that's aired. Levels 1, 2, and 4 is what I participated in, and coming in as a rookie, it's stressful. It's a whole compared to multi-GP. What are the others, like IDRA, DSA? It's a different beast when you know that no matter what you do, it's only going to come down to how you are as a pilot. You can't chase the perfect setup. You can't overcharge your batteries. There's no advantages and disadvantages other than who you are as a pilot. And coming in with that mindset that you're all on the same playing field is a little bit different, because you start having to think about the exact lines that you want to take. You have to memorize the courses a lot more than you would at a multi-GP. At a multi-GP race, because in multi-GP, if you mess up a corner, you can just full throttle and power out, and you don't lose any time at all. On DRL, if you mess up a corner, you might lose a whole second. You can't get that second back. Man, there's probably 200-300 cameras in the building while we're flying, and
wow,
no matter where you look, there's always at least one camera pointing at you recording. So that's different, knowing that anything you say could end up on TV.
It's like, don't pick your nose, right?
Let's talk about that for a second. I've interviewed a lot of heli pilots, and they ultimately can't talk. They're a one-word answer type of guy. I think it's the mentality of being a precision pilot, and then the ability to say a lot of words. It just doesn't go together. So what was it like for you to talk on camera, and how long did it take for you to feel natural in front of the camera?
Oh, so levels 1 and 3 back to back for us. You can tell in my interviews that I'm just, oh yeah, that was a great race. I was feeling good, and that was kind of the end of the sentence. When I made it up to level 4, which I think we filmed like 3 months later, I'd gotten a little bit more comfortable with the fact that I was going to be aired on TV, and I was more comfortable with talking to the cameras and stuff. So you can start seeing in level 4 that that my answers were getting more elaborate, and I would kind of just sit there and talk about it a little bit more without just locking up in front of the camera. You'll see more of that. You'll see more of me getting more calm, natural, and season goes on. It's now, it'll still make you feel like a deer in headlights sometimes.
And have you had any marriage proposals or anything like that since you're on TV?
And I hope I don't, because I'll turn them down.
You only marry a good Nashville?
What's that?
You only marry someone from Nashville?
No. The past 3 years of my life, I've made a conscious decision to focus all my energy onto FPV and drones. Wow. There's a guy, Eric Thomas, who did a speech about if you want something bad, you have to dedicate all of your life to it. He said, you don't want something. He said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll succeed. And that means not going out to parties, not messing around with anything else. Literally the past 2.5, 3 years of my life has only been drones.
Maybe that's the answer to your question, Jason. How do you do it in 2 years?
Yeah,
Full
that's what I tell people. I was like, if you want to be at the top, it's your entire life, like every day, as much as you can handle. And this and it's working for you. And these things are all over the country, right? Or even the world. Have you traveled internationally and been to some pretty cool courses? What's going on?
Yeah. So for the first time in my life, I actually got to leave the country, all because of drones. I got to go to Munich, Germany, and I guess I posted. I guess they told us to post some stuff on Instagram, so it's out of the bag. But I went to Saudi Arabia, so that was 2 very interesting trips. They're both beautiful places, and wouldn't have been able to go to them without the chance of or without drones in my life.
What was Saudi Arabia like? There's a thing going on in Dubai in October, but I would be scared to go to Dubai. Were there strict rules you needed to follow or anything like that?
So those are a lot different. Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, it's more of a westernized community, civilization out there. Where we were at, and just north of Jeddah, the people there were still extremely nice. There was still cultural rules and stuff that we had to keep in mind while we were there, and be respectful of how their culture is. Just like if you go anywhere in the world, you need to research the culture and everything. And everything was smooth for us. Every person we met was super nice and real hospitable, I would say.
Any good stories out of that trip, like riding around in a Lamborghini or anything like that?
No, can't talk much about the trip.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that one's not filmed yet, or that one's not aired yet.
So we have a live viewers on, and I said if they had any questions to hit us up. And one question was asked that I have on my list over here. And I was going to ask you what goggles you use. I've run through probably 20 sets of goggles, and I have my favorites right now. And the question is, on DRL, are the goggles guys own gear, or does DRL have their own setup that you have to use?
The goggles are provided by DRL. At the beginning of the season, we were running HD3s, and then when Fat Shark came out, the HDOs, that's what we were given.
And that's not diversity, right? Is that a single receiver on there?
It's a module, so if you can put rapid fire, clear view, furious, all those in there.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Since I switched over from, I had the Fat Shark SEs with the HD2s optics in it, and since I switched over to the HDOs, I'll never go back. The picture on them is amazing.
I don't think I've had that on my head. Does it have a wider FOV as well?
No, the HDOs are slightly smaller than the HD3s. The HD3s have a 42 field of view. The HDOs have 37. But the clarity that you get from them, like I've handed them off to people that had the HD3s, and they said they could tell that it was a little bit smaller, but it wasn't enough to make a huge change.
Yeah, cool. Jason, was that the guy you were waiting for?
Yeah, sorry, I've got a heater guy working on my unit upstairs in the attic right now, so I had to step out, and he may knock, and I may have to leave again in a second, but
gotcha.
He's doing his thing.
Well, we were just talking about goggles. Do you have any questions about what Blake uses in the air?
Did you ask Lee's question from the chat?
I did.
Is that what you did? Okay, cool. Yeah. No, I mean, something I'm curious about, and this just might be eye-opening for some people, is, Blake, I want to know, how many batteries have you killed over your less than 3 years of flying?
Oh, man, I wish I could keep up. I killed 2 batteries last week. I'd have to say it's probably in the 50 to 60 range, to be honest. I've probably I've probably only bought, 70, maybe 80 batteries overall.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've killed most of them. I only have like 10 packs right now.
Yeah.
I was going to ask what kind of batteries you use.
I'm not sponsored by anybody for batteries, so I'm kind of just floating around on whatever's cheapest. I was raised to try to save my money for the necessities. So my batteries, I'm just kind of going with whatever works.
And what's working right now for you?
I've got some Pulse 1250s, Pyro Drone 1250s, and I might try out some China Hobby lines also.
Gotcha.
They're all priced pretty close except for the Pulses, but I was able to get a deal on those while I was at the MGP.io this year.
Mm-hmm. This is something that's pretty cool. Is Blake works at a local hobby store, Vivid Aerial, in Nashville. And so you could go in and get some help and support from a pro pilot like Blake here at the local hobby store. Isn't that cool? What's it like working?
They're actually here now.
Yeah. Is that fun
it,
working at the hobby shop? That's how I got started in my entire hobby career, was working at a local Hobby Town USA in Boone, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's just like with Drone Racing League, it almost doesn't feel like work sometimes, just because I'm getting to hang out and do what I love.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people whenever I started out that were able to help me out and keep pushing me, and just even like giving me an ESC or giving me tips on how to tune and stuff. So being able to work up here is pretty nice because I can give a little bit back to the people who need it.
Yeah, man. I got another interesting question for you. Have you, and I think I know the answer, but I want to find out, have you flown an FPV racing wing yet?
I don't know, like, if you could consider it a racing wing. I've built up several wings. I've never raced them, but I've built up several wings and flown those. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? Drones versus wings. What's your preference? We obviously know
drones. Yeah, drones is always going to be my preference, but I keep some wings in the back just so whenever I get tired of drones, I can pull those out and play with them for a little while. Like all things in life, a little bit too much of something is exhausting. And these past 11 months of my life, I've spent every single day thinking about a drone. So being able to go out on a weekend and just take a wing with me is still fun.
Yeah, that's good. That keeps the burnout from happening, right?
Jason, yep. What's your favorite wing right now, Jason?
Favorite wing would my Hardcore 44 from Right Wings. Killer, super fast FPV racing wing. It's awesome.
I got to say that my Theory Type W has re-won the game after, I flew the Optera and the F-27, but the Theory Type W, man, it's so little and simple and fast and quick and nimble. It's got it all.
It is fast. I remember flying it. It's fun.
And then what about you? What's your favorite throw in the car wing? Like,
see, my thing with wings is if I go out and like have a specific racing wing, they're usually 36 inches or bigger, and you got to have a massive field. And 9 times out of 10, I don't really want to go out to just a massive field. So I like having a wing that I can go out with my buddies who are still doing freestyle with mini quads, and I can toss out a small wing that I can cruise under trees with. Right. So the one that I've been flying the most these past few months is the Zod Nano Talon, just because that thing flies so slow with a slow stall speed. I can just cruise under trees and have no problems, even if I wreck it. Like I smashed it into a building the other day, and I just tossed some glue on it, and it was back together.
Crazy.
You can find the Zod Nano Talon for $109 at Ready Made RC. I don't think I've had my hands on this thing. It looks pretty cool. I gotta say,
really nice. It just pops together. So it comes with like the box that it comes in is pretty much a carry case. It has a handle on it.
Nice.
So I just toss the box in the car, And when I get to the field, it takes like 20, 30 seconds to set up.
Right. If you get a chance to get your hands on that Theory Type W from Horizon, fly one. You might like it.
All right.
It's so little, man, and it hauls buttocks.
I know
Yeah,
you
see,
will.
they do like close to 100, right?
Yeah. Yep, they're pretty blazing. They're so light. It's just a little multi-rotor motor, but the plane's so light, you know.
I'll go get mine so we can take a
Low
look.
drag. So Blake, while he's doing that, do you have any tips like you would give somebody out there that's interested in drone racing and wanting to get into it seriously? Like, what tips would you give them?
Let's see. Study other people's flying, like other fast pilots. Study their flying. Don't be scared to break something.
Yeah.
If you're just freaking out the entire time about wrecking and breaking a motor, breaking an arm, then you're never gonna really advance as a pilot. If you just go out there and push your limits every single day, yeah, you might spend, 120, 150 bucks that weekend on parts, but you're going to increase your ability pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not being scared, studying other people. You can practice with intent. Like, if you know for a fact that you're really bad at hairpins, go out and run a hairpin 100 times in a row one day.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you know you're bad at split S's, go out and run that 100 times that day. Practicing on specific stuff can really help you to kind of master the craft.
Yeah, that's smart. Smart. All right, Jim.
The last time I flew this, I crashed it, and I think I told you what happened, Jason. I did not turn the fan on in my Fat Sharks, and it was a hot day. And then I realized that I was fogging up rapidly, and I thought I'm going to go high and bring it in, but I got myself behind a hill, and then I lost the signal. And then I thought I try to fly Blake in my mind sometimes. If I lose the signal, I'll mentally fly it in my mind, but it didn't work because I'm looking at this thing. I obviously boinked the wing pretty hard and separated it from the fuse just a little, which all I have to do is pop it off and pop it back on. But this is how little it is. And the beauty is you just throw it in your car and you have it whenever you want.
I seen who's that? Hugo. He did an upgrade to it. He put on I want to say it was like a 2620 motor, 1800 kV, and I think he did a 1800 mAh battery in it. He said that made it a lot faster.
Wow, blazing fast, I bet.
And it'll slow right down too. I mean, that's what I love, is something that you can fly, just have fun with, or you can just crank it up and get the adrenaline going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to talk to you about your transmitter. Are you not average flying a Spectrum? Is that what you fly now? Spectrum radio?
Yeah, Spectrum's the only thing that I ran from day one. Day one, I bought a DX7. And just a week ago, my sponsor and where I work, Vivid Aerial, they gave me a DX9 so that I could kind of upgrade my flying, move up to Crossfire and stuff.
That's what Jason and I run, and it's my favorite radio. Well, that's not true. Jason doesn't run a 9. Jason runs a Jetty.
Oh, man.
And then do you use a strap or no strap?
Strap.
And is that just because you're in the goggles and you need to let go sometimes?
No, it's more of well, I'm a thumber, so if the transmitter moves around in my hands a whole bunch, it'll throw off what direction my thumbs are going. Just a few millimeters, and that could be the end of a race. So I like wearing a strap just for consistency. I know where the radio is always going to be, even if my hands move around a little bit.
Have you thought about trying a tray? I know tray's a very European thing to do, but if that precision is, maybe that gives you more precision.
No, I haven't tried any that are like truly a tray. I've tried out what was the Tyrannus QX7. That's a little bit wider and flat.
Right.
I've tried out the Team Black Sheep Tango. That's a lot wider, and I didn't really care for them. I've kind of been a fanboy of Spectrum since day one. They're just reliable and easy to get into.
Yeah, and they feel good in the hand, and the 9 feels really good in the hand too.
Yeah. People keep saying that the Tyrannus X9D is a better radio. It's more popular and stuff. And I'm like, I don't like holding a Fisher Price toy. I like holding something that was designed, not something that was slapped together. I mean, shoot, if you hang a Spectrum radio by the lanyard on its lanyard hook, it's balanced.
Right.
Tyrannus comes with a balance bar because it's not balanced.
Right. I hear you. So Brian Chambers in the live chat says he's afraid to start flying quads. I see what the addiction did to me on aircraft and wings. And so I was always a wing guy. I had quads, but I was a wing guy. And then this past week I had my event in Nashville. So I bring all my FPV stuff out, multiple goggles, and people sit next to me while I fly FPV around and they ride around with me. And I brought a quad that I just reviewed, and I decided that I liked my quad now better for FPV than my wings, just because it's so easy, man. You know, put it on the ground, take off, roll, flip.
And 99% of the time when you're wrecking a quad, you're not breaking something. Wings, you're cruising at 30 miles an hour, maybe more than that. If you hit a tree, you're ripping the wing off. You got to go home, glue it, wait a day for that glue to set.
Right.
Quads, you might just break a couple props.
And Brian, I wouldn't be afraid of a new addiction. Come on, it's not like you're addicted to race cars, or I'm not going to elaborate on other things you can be addicted to, but this is a pretty good thing to be addicted to. Go ahead and do it. Life is short. Jason, what happened that time? Did he tell you needed a new motor up in the heater?
No, it's free. It's a warranty call. So he was able to adjust some things, dampers, and make it function properly. So I'm a happy guy. It's going to get freaking cold tonight at 40 degrees. And
yeah, I hate it.
Heat working, man.
Blake, the one thing we haven't talked to you about is your setup. What kind of motors and ESCs and all that stuff that you run?
So my favorite setup right now, because I've got a little bit of everything. I like testing stuff out to see if my favorite might change. But my absolute favorite setup is I have a PureFlip Floss 2.1 with a pod. I don't care for the carbon on it. I just like the pod style because I can fit most everything I need inside of it. Unlike a lot of race quads that are really tight and hard to get everything I need inside the quad. My favorite ESC flight controller are the Hobbywing stack, the new G2s. Any quad that I've flown except that one just doesn't fly the same to me. Can't enjoy it. For motors, I've got the Xnova 2207 1700 kVs. I've always been a.
Fly the floss quad and you win. Do you have to do the floss dance for victory lap? I think that's what the DRL needs, Blake. I think you have to be the one to do that.
Jason,
bring some Fortnite dance moves to the races.
Can you do the floss dance, Jason?
Oh yeah.
Can you show us
the floss dance at this point?
I can't do it, and no one I know can in my age. Can you show us the floss dance?
I mean, you can perpetuate the themes.
I want to see how good you are. Oh.
No.
Anyway, close enough.
That's pretty good. That's the best I've seen.
We're going to edit that part out for all you live viewers, so you can be the one to see it.
What about FPV cameras? Like what TVL? I'm sure there's a certain wattage you have to run at, but what are you running there?
I've tried a bunch of different cameras out from other companies, so don't say I'm just a stickler for the one that I run, but I only run cam micro swifts, whether it be the version 1, 2, or 3, or they've even got the new racer that's CMOS that I'm testing out right now. I I've tried other cameras and just haven't been as satisfied as I have with the run cam. So I've run cam in every single one of my quads. Since NATS 2016, I've only ran Team Black Sheep Unifies in every single one of my quads. Antennas, pretty much all of my quads are running the Axie Stubby from Lumineer. That's an awesome little antenna. It's hard to break. Like, I had one single antenna last me 9 months, and I used it on every quad I used.
Wow.
Jeez.
So the run cam, which one? Just the run cam 2 or run cam whatever?
No, run cam Micro Swift.
Micro Swift. I'm looking it up.
Yeah. I use the 2s, the 3s, and starting to use the run cam Racer.
So the run cam Micro Swift 2 retails for $34.99. It's 0.20 ounces. I'm looking for the TBL.
Should be like 600 to 700.
Yeah, it's a 600 TVL, which kind of is the standard now. All Fat Shark stuff is 600 TVL, I think.
Mm-hmm. Now, Blake, I know we don't have a lot of time with you. I know you've got to get back to work, but I just, maybe one final question, unless Jim's got something else. But where do you see the sport going? Do you see it becoming a super hot mainstream media sport, or it's just going to be kind of grassroots, local racers doing around? Do you think it's going to get any bigger than DRL? What are your thoughts?
That's a thing that we're kind of getting a little divided on. There's a lot of people who want to see the grassroots side and all these small events, maybe with 50 to 100 pilots that they want to see a couple thousand spectators come out to. And that's just, I don't think it's really possible, because people who come out there aren't going to be able to root on as individual pilot. If this is going to go more mainstream than it already is, if this is going to be something that, the majority of America watches every Saturday like they are NFL, I think DRL is pretty much the only one that's going in the right direction, where they're kind of giving you a specific pilot to root for, and you can kind of join their team per se. There's other pro race leagues out there who are trying to do the same. I haven't been able to watch the DR1 series this year, but in the past when I watched it, it just didn't bring me into the show quite as much as others did. They weren't as live action, like really get you on the edge of your seat. Way DRL's doing it with bringing into the pilot bios, how you were brought up, how you train even on the weekends. That seems to be the right way for me. And yeah, I may be a little bit biased on that one since they pay my salary.
Yeah, buddy. Well, that's cool, man. I definitely appreciate you coming on and talking to us, and we wish you the best, man. Get out there and keep kicking the butt.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm on a little break right now. I'm trying to take a couple weeks off. It's been a long 9 months flying pretty much almost every single day, and taking a little break for a little bit, just try to get some of the enjoyment back into it.
Cool, man.
Awesome. Well, man, maybe we'll check in a year from now and see where you're at and what's going on, and see if you still have that beard.
Gotta have the beard. Definitely, man. Thank you for having me on. Hope y'all enjoyed it.
All right, everybody. We've been talking to Blake NUBB. You can check him out on the television, and you can also check him out on Instagram at NUBB FPV and keep up with him.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Cool, man. Later, Blake.
Yeah. Now,
see
Jason
you guys.
and I are going to talk about the what's new in the news and the RC news. It's a segment we do every damn week, right, Jason?
That's right.
That's right. So I'm going to jump over to the news. Oh shoot, I can't. Jason, can you jump over to the news?
Can you jump over screen share, or
yeah, do a screen share of the all channel, and we'll just go through some things that I was looking at. Just sent a mass email out this morning, which was great, Jason. I saw the numbers rapidly increase on the site, which is always a good, exciting thing to see.
Boom.
Sharing with all.
So what is this seasonal kickoff thing? I didn't really get to read it yet. I just saw the intro here.
So let's see if it's going to switch me. Can we lock it on you, Jay?
I don't know.
Let me do it. 1 second.
I
was contacted by Mustafa at RC Gadgets. We've done some contests, design contests with RC Gadgets and some other things. And he said, this is happening like in 9 days. So if you could get it out, that would be awesome. And I have to say that I wasn't exactly sure what it was. And then I did my research. So RC Gadgets is organizing a seasonal kickoff at the Sky Hub RC. And the crazy part about Sky Hub RC is that it's a campus located in Dubai.
Do you think RC Gadgets would fly me out there to cover it for him?
I'm sure they would. You just got to ask them.
I want to go to Dubai.
I don't.
Come on.
Some guy got arrested and thrown in prison for touching somebody else in a bar inappropriately. And the guy's like, all I did was like touch his shoulder and they arrested him.
Well, you know, you gotta play it nice.
I'm scared to
go to a sheik or something, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but I'm not okay. Well, you line that sheik up. Maybe I'll bring Bob Sadler and we'll be safe. Right?
Well, I'll be at the Punk and Chunk team selects for DLG, so I won't be able to go. But I want to go to Dubai sometime, so just keep that in the back of your mind.
They have people from different parts of the Gulf region. It's all about having a good time and socializing. So they have RC awesome. Limbo, Pylon Race, Balloon Pop, Dogfight. Sounds like a standard RC event, except in Dubai.
Yeah, and look at those raffle prizes, man. You get a DL engine, an airframe from Andrew Jeske.
FMS, Powerbox, Flex Innovations. They really got a pretty good list there.
That sounds like it'd be pretty cool. And anything in Dubai, you know it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I guess the weather would be nice too. I don't know. What do you think about the
time on this? What were you saying?
Let's talk about this thing. This is yours.
I just thought this was interesting. This was the first waiver the FAA has issued for a drone company to fly over people. So, and it has to do with this parachute system from Para-Zero. So they added one to this Phantom 4, which you can see in that picture. And they got their waiver. I guess they had all the proper documentation and everything the FAA needed to feel good about it. And they used it at a North Dakota football game over the tailgaters for the first time, and was able to give live video feed to the police enforcement there and media companies for video of it. And so it's just kind of interesting that they feel good enough about this parachute system that they're okay with you flying over people with a drone.
Seems like a step in the right direction.
Kind of a precedent, you know?
Yeah, right. Then what do you think about this new wing from the Hobby King?
This looks fun, man. The great thing is it's so stinking cheap. You know, $75 for the plug and play with the motor and speed controller, or $43 as a kit, and you add your, a couple servos and your power system and FPV gear. But dang, I bet it flies good. It looks fun. It's EPP. It's going to be durable. The camera is well protected. It's got a nice hatch with open area to put all your stuff in it. So it looks like one of those fun, just mini, throw it in your car, don't worry about it, go have fun kind of wings, which is
that's something I would try.
Right?
Right. And then what else do we have?
XFC's coming up. What's the deal with that?
It's a big deal. So the XFC, I got to tell you, I think at the time I knew why it went away, but now I don't. And sometimes my bad memory is good because who really cares why it doesn't exist, but it's back. And Frank Knoll pinged me on an email and he said, JT, if you can help us out. And I said, I would love to spread the word. So this is on Flying Giants and RCGroups. And Jason, click on that.
Which one? I'm sorry.
On XFC.
The XFC.
Daydreaming about heaters. And so, basically what I've done here is talk to you about the competition format and then how to apply. You can domestic applications, international applications. And then if you click the link in the article, you can go to the site if you're interested in doing that. And I think the big topic here is that this is a Frank Knoll event. Frank Knoll's running it just like he always has. So this is the same XFC you know and love.
That's cool.
If you're already an XFC competitor, you do not have to submit. You can jump in there if you want.
Awesome.
Nick's giving side commentary there. And then Jason posted this, the F5J. I got to say, I was tempted to do the logo, but I didn't.
Oh, you should. So this is the first year that the USA has a team for F5J, and that's the new format of electric launch sailplanes in competition with its own set of rules we don't have to get into. But, hey, we've got a USA team, and they're going out of the country next year, 2019, to go compete. And so they're looking for guys to create some logos. You can see got a couple of things going down.
That logo is not going to work.
Yeah. I like this, this one. That looks pretty cool.
Which, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll stare at it a while and think about it.
So this is, they want the logo, but they also need fundraising. It costs a lot of money to send the team over there, and whatever they can't get through fundraising, they're going to have to pay out of pocket. So it's just an awareness kind of thing.
Right. And, if you're with that organization, and just like Jason did the story on you there, we would be happy to help promote in any way. So be sure and contact us and let us know. I do not think I read this article. You popped this one up. You seem to get these emails before me about updates. HK Hummer Extreme.
So they had an original one, and this is a kind of a newer version with a new color scheme. But it's an EPP profile plane, for those guys who want to get wild and crazy and 3D aerobatics, on the deck and thrash it and bash it and keep flying. $34.66 as a kit. I mean, it's a ridiculous price.
Dirt cheap.
So they keep bringing out the cool stuff to play with.
Well, like we said, they're bringing out a ton of birds, and they are. I'll tell you who else is bringing out a ton of stuff is Horizon. Holy cow. So we talked about that last week. My GB thing went live. No reason to look at that.
We caught up. We kind of had a little bit of a slow week. We had a holiday on Monday, so we weren't really pumping out news on Monday.
The cold weather's here, though. It's not even hot outside. I haven't been sweating.
I don't know how I feel about that yet, but
yeah.
I know Hefe is going on right now at Hodges Hobbies Field, and right after that hurricane came.
Right, I was watching the pictures. It looked
back at a couple trees, at least one tree, maybe more. It looked like in a picture, come right down near his house. Luckily, it didn't hit the house.
Jason, I have a BBT story for you.
Uh-oh.
So
big black truck.
Let me click here.
So, I will stop.
My clicker's not there. You go. Yeah. So I went to the Home Despot yesterday, and I drive it's a black limited excursion, and there just aren't that many. I've only maybe seen one on the road ever.
Yeah.
Two-tone leather seats and all that stuff. And when I came out, there was a black limited excursion parked right next to mine, obviously on purpose, except he had a lift kit, giant tires.
He was one-upping you.
Aftermarket wheels. I took pictures. He had the grill. He did it all right. And I walked around it, and I was like, I wonder if this guy will come out. He didn't. But when I looked in to see what he did on the inside, I noticed he had a gigantic 1911 pistol just laying in broad view.
That's not what you want to do.
I was like, okay. I immediately got in my car. I mean, I'm a gun guy. It's not like guns scare me, but that was kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's just like hey, take me.
Right. I don't know, man. It wasn't a deterrent, though. I certainly stepped back. I was like, okay.
That's funny, man. I'm excited you're keeping it in the truck, by the way.
Well, if everything works out, yes, it would be a necessary tool for certain
cool
things.
To get you to C10, but still keep the BBT around.
Yes, to have both
when you need it.
We'll see. I have not gotten a reply. We're talking in code here about a thing I'm working on. If it happens, I'll certainly be talking about it. But stuff like that, you just wait till it happens. Let's see if it does happen. So, Jason, did you do anything RC related this week other than work 8 hours a day talking about RC?
I have not flown any this week, which I really need to, because next week is the team selects down at Hodges Hobby. So I'll be there. I'm actually leaving Thursday. I'll see if I can grab some Wi-Fi somewhere and be on the podcast. But yeah, so we've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I guess we start officially Saturday for flying the non-pumpkin chunk fun events that we do on Friday. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be competing for 3 days, trying to make Team USA to go to the Worlds next year as well. Got 30, 40-something pilots registered. The weather should be great.
Let's say that you actually get to do that. What does that mean? Do you like to leave the country?
Well, yeah, I don't mind going. Yeah, Slovenia, I don't remember exactly where it is, but it's one of those Western European countries, I believe.
How would this work?
Yeah, how would it work? Well, so I would have to talk, and the big problem is financial. It's a big financial commitment, and so you have to fundraise. Anything you can't get through fundraising. The AMA provides only a little bit to the teams, so I'm kind of like, in that way, I'm kind of hoping I don't really want to make it, but at the same time, it would really be cool to be one of the top 3 pilots, in the country competing. So I'll just have to cross that bridge when I get to it. I'm sure they have Wi-Fi over there, so I could probably still, work and check in and do things and be, part of it, or maybe just take vacation. I think it's a 2-week deal. I think I have 2 weeks of vacation that I can use if I had to. But at the same time, it would be really cool to have a competitor's perspective, to be able to write from and cover and bring that stuff back to RCGroups in a different way. So we'll see. I've made it as high as 4th place in the Nats this last year, so I was not far off from making the top 3.
Right.
So it's in the realm of possibility, but I would say it's probably not very likely that I'll make it. So either way, it's going to be a good time, and that's what really matters.
Jason and I will stay in touch and figure out about next Thursday and if the podcast will be up or not and what we'll be doing. Reading our live chat, Daniel Haynes says, got the Hyperbadan Labs AB kit in my E-Flight Viper now, and it looks awesome.
Wow. Those are really cool. They've really made some progress with the afterburner kits, and they're just, even in full daylight, you can see it, and it shines, and it's awesome.
Nice. Well, we started a little early this week, we weren't sure if Jason would have to jump out or not, and you did, but it didn't hurt us. And so Blake jumped in, and so we would love to do more of these in the future. Hey, I was going to say to our live people, once again, if you would like to be on the podcast and you're a regular live viewer, watcher, typer, then shoot me a PM on RCGroups. And if you have a camera and a mic, maybe each week we can have a live viewer on as a guest host. I think that would be fun. I haven't asked you about that, Jason. What do you think about that?
I'm down, man. Anytime.
Did I thank our podcast sponsor, Hobby King at hobbyking.com, who's come? Yeah, I just did then. And then we also talked about some of their airplanes, but lots of good stuff coming out of there. And be sure and check them out. I think I've run out of things to talk about now, Jason.
There you go. And looks like my wife just pulled in with her brother in the driveway.
Nice. All right.
Cool as that.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us on the podcast. I want to thank Jason for reeling in Blake. That was very awesome. And I knew some of his story, but I certainly didn't know that he was a go-getter who turned his whole career / life around in 2 years. I mean, went from not being known by anyone to being on TV. That's pretty amazing and inspirational. Awesome. Yeah, crazy. So kudos to him. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being on RCGroups and supporting us and the site and yourselves by going on there and answering questions and asking questions and all the things that we do in this hobby. Be sure to be a good ambassador and help out others who are just starting out. I'm Jim T. Graham, your host, with Jason Cole.
Later, y'all. Peace out.
Send one down now.